everybody. This is Jean Voice Start, and I'm here with Tammy Attama, and she's here from Virginia Beach talking to us about her creative arts projects. She's multi-talented, and she's definitely a creative conqueror, and I'm just so excited to have her here today. Tammy, can you tell us a little bit about your history, your childhood, and how you got excited about all the different arts? I know you're a poet, writer, you're a photographer, you're just multi-talented, and what kind of support you had in your family growing up for the arts?
Well, I think as soon as I was old enough to roam around the house on 2 feet, and we'd have company, usually my great uncle would come over, who was also a photographer. He'd bring his cameras, and I was always like picking them up and taking them here and there, toddling around the house with them. And he would always share his slides of family events with me. And I think that got my interest in photography. Writing kind of came after, first I would draw my dreams that I would have at night of these great pyramids and then, I would that led into writing, and I had such a chaotic childhood that writing helped me to focus and to release a lot of things and to be able to use my imagination. So,
can you tell me a little bit more about that when you said chaotic? Because I know in our Creative Conquerors group, we have a lot of people that have used art, music, dance, theater, writing to help them exactly the way that you're describing, to help them break through these kind of challenging times. And you don't have to go into gory details, but what exactly was it about the creative arts that helped you get through times?
Well, I think they allow you to expand on, to give you expression, to express when you're in that kind of environment. It's very hard. You can't speak your mind without it ending up in some drama or do what you want. So on paper and in film, you have that creativity, that expression. You can yell at it, yell at the paper, and nobody's going to slap you in the head or something. You can play and imagine and go on these incredible journeys, and it just releases you from the everyday conundrums, to put it nicely.
Yeah, so, it's like going to another world, rising above. And for me, they're just so important to me. Art, writing, music, all of that, with my struggles as well. But I know sometimes I could use it like as an escape, but other times I can use it for healing myself in different ways, just to really focus on what the pain is, but wrap it in love, learn to forgive and accept and just dissolve that problem. So do you think it's a little bit of both, or one way or the other that you used it?
I think in the beginning for me, it was a release. I was kind of still in that victim mentality, and it was like, oh, these people are terrible. I don't want to live with them, and that kind of journaling. But as I got older and more mature, it led to, why are they the way they are? What made them that way? I heard a woman say not too long ago that victims breed victims. And so you remember that they were a victim at once too, or in that mentality, that state, So as you work your way out of there and expand, writing can kind of help you delve into that more, and like a deep dive, and explore really where those roots go and how they can transform you to be something better, and what it's taken to get you from here to there.
Yeah, thanks. That was really well said. I appreciate that. So when you mention going through your head, why are they saying this? Why are they doing this? Are you talking about uh, emotional abuse, physical abuse, that kind of thing within your family? Is that what you're talking about? Or
Yes, there was a lot of abuse in my family across the range, emotional, physical, mental, sexual. I mean, it went the entire gamut. And so the arts gave me a way to take myself out of that environment inwardly and express it outwardly.
yeah, I know there's a lot of people listening that appreciate you sharing that. I know it's not always easy to talk about. You don't need to go into talking about it, but just to know that there's so many tools. And when you mentioned the imagination, that we have to uh, find that better place. Love is always the answer. And when we're in situations like that, it's not easy to find love when we're not surrounded by it naturally, but we can find it. If it's right here. There is a place where we can go. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. You
Yeah,
learn to love and appreciate yourself because you
very
learn that not everybody else may be in the mindset to be able to do that for you.
love and appreciate yourself. And you did that through your skills. And those skills, were you trained as an artist? Did you take classes in that as you grew up?
Later, I went to the Philadelphia Art Institute, the Art Institute of Philadelphia, I should say. And I didn't finish my degree, but I went there for about a year. And then the call of my family called me back to them. So my children were little at the time, so they took up a good bit of it, my attention. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was just self-made. Anybody can be creative. I don't think you have to be trained. I think it's a wonderful gift we give ourselves. Like, I mean, what is it? Every kid picks up a coloring book and paper, and they are naturally drawn to make pictures and make art, and we lose that as we get older. And that's a shame.
Yeah, it's such a natural thing to do for children. It is. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah.
So I want to share a little bit of your creative side here. We can share the screen. I've got several websites that are yours, and I'd like to share. All right, tell me a little bit about this amazing photo. It's wonderful.
We are very fortunate in Virginia Beach to have the whales, the humpback whales and the minke whales, as well as many of the others, migrating through this time of year. And I was fortunate enough to have my camera pointing at the right spot at just the right moment, because they spring out of the water so quickly and then go back down. It just happens like that.
Down here and look at some of these. Where is this taken?
That's in La Jolla. There's a harbor with the seals, and it's just beautiful. The seals don't seem to mind the people at all. They just lay around the beach, and people walk right through them, and they're oblivious for the most part.
Oh, how sweet.
Oh, no, what is this?
This is digital art. We can go to my photography though.
No, let's start here. That was beautiful. Let's start. I wasn't quite sure. Okay, yeah, that's beautiful. So how was this created?
So it's actually photos. I took two different photos, maybe three, I can't remember now. But one was a beach scene with the waves, and the other one was a seagull flying. And I photoshopped it and brought out the saturation and duplicated the bird and just played with it. So I felt like it was where I wanted it to be. You know, to me, it's just a reflection of my inner worlds and maybe what was going on in the time.
I love it. And you know, I'm a musician, music therapist, and I, when I look at it, I hear the sound. I mean, it just seems like music to me. I like it. It's very beautiful. Thank you. And the next one,
The next one was actually taken at Chicago O'Hare Airport, this one and the one after. And they usually have these beautiful installations. And I just took a picture of one section of it. And so it's actually a reflection above where the people are walking. So I just took that and cropped it and again pulled out saturation and detail and just played with it. That's all creativity is to me, is just playing, you know.
yeah, definitely. I love it. And are you in Chicago right now? Area?
Virginia. Virginia. This is one of the times I was traveling and I just was passing through the airport and I was like, had my cell phone. I was like, oh, look at this, look at that, you know.
The colors look like the 60s to me a little bit, the patterns, you know, the orange and pink and yellow and yeah. Nice. Okay.
This is also Chicago O'Hare Airport. And again, just a clip that I, took a picture of and then started playing with the saturation and the designs and putting patterns over it. So give it some movement.
Thank you. And what would you say to someone who is just kind of starting out creatively and would like to do what you're doing? Do you have any words of encouragement for them?
Just play and have fun. I mean, that's what, when we're children, we don't think about, oh, how's this going to look, how other people are going to see it. We just draw from our heart, or whatever medium we're using. We just do it from our heart. And if we do that as grown-ups, I mean, it's not just, we spoke of being a music therapist, but it is therapeutic.
Yes.
Joyful.
You know, I also love writing and art as well, and I was drawing very young, and I agree with you that just the playfulness of it, now I do graphic art, just the playfulness of it and just having fun, all of a sudden something is created and it's, oh my gosh, how did that happen? But it was just like going into the zone and just moving and playing and bringing out more colors and playing with things. And sometimes I don't even know what something is, and I'll push a button and say, well, that looks interesting. Oh my gosh, look what just happened, you know. And I love that attitude of playfulness. Thank you for saying that.
Now that we all have cell phones, it's so much easier because you can take a picture and there are so many different apps that you can play with to make your pictures do this and do that. And it's it's just fun.
Okay, let's look on here. We have about 5 or 10 more minutes.
This is another layered photograph. It was of a lotus flower and a cosmic background. And
that is so beautiful.
Again, a few photos layered together and then experimenting with different Photoshop techniques. The rest are more literal. we have a beautiful little area that we like to walk where the canal is. And every year, every spring, we get to see the ducklings and the goslings. And they're a lot of fun to take photos.
They're so cute. So do you have a preference between the graphic and very experimental art and just taking the photography, the nature photography? Do you have a preference, or do you just enjoy all of it?
I enjoy all of it. It depends. Like sometimes I like to be very literal and just take a picture of what I'm seeing. But there's this part of me that has always wanted to be a painter. And since I can't really do that in real life that well, I have found a way through my photography and different editing apps to be able to have some of that joy anyway. Like both. An eagle that was flying over our area.
My goodness.
This is from North Carolina. You can see I like to travel and take pictures. That's always fun. It's always fun.
You do a lot of traveling?
Well, not too much, not as much as I would like. I would like to do a lot more traveling. This one is actually a reflection in the swamp. And the only thing I really did was pull out the saturation to make it look more like a painting. But I just love it. You know, you're looking at this muddy swamp, but when you play with the colors, all of a sudden it just comes to life.
I just see this dancing stick man in the middle there with his arms out and legs.
Life, like, yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's beautiful.
These are some of our other guests that come to that come to our canal. This little guy is a rare yellow-crowned heron that actually visited our yard. So that was exciting. Yeah. A little sampling of my photos.
Well, thank you so much. And I also mentioned that you are a poet and you have a book of poetry out. What is the name of your book of poetry?
It is My Mission of Love on the Road to God, a book of poetry.
This is at wattpad.com. Okay. So this is a collection of poetry that you've written here. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Well, we're all on a spiritual journey of one kind or another, and the poetry is pretty representative of part of mine. And so it's just whatever seems to flow through me when I'm putting pen to paper, you know, or typing or whatever just seems to come out. It just has a mind of its own. So.
It says a collection of my poetry as well as my photos that I've written over the years is a labor of love. As a child who dearly loved God, or whatever you may choose to call that higher power, and as part of my disciplines, I diligently kept journals. This was a tool that allowed me to document my outer journey as well as the journey within, not only in verse, but with drawings and photos that captured the world as I was seeing it. And how were you seeing it?
Well, there's all these inner worlds that we hardly ever get to even touch. You know, we might get a glimpse of it in our dreams, or if you meditate or contemplate, you may get an even bigger, broader picture. So it's a combination of what I've taken back from my contemplations over the years, or something I've dreamt about. Or, you know.
And could you share a poem for us?
So this is a poem called The Dance of Soul that I wrote. And my body rocks in rhythm to the notes that promenade in and out of my consciousness. Minds become lost in sound. Mortal figurine falls away as soul is gracefully elevated into the plains, whirling like a prima ballerina to the harmony drifting around and through me. The light bursts forth from deep inside as the sound carries me within itself. No more am I a part of this world so heavy. I have shed your oppressive cloak and replaced it with a luminous wrap of golden stars, twinkling across me on a bed of white light. A prodigious blue star beckons to me, singing to me like you would imagine a choir of angels to lull an infant into the dream worlds. With a subtle, soft touch that quietly stirs you deeply, profoundly, raising you up to levels beyond human comprehension. A strong hand reaches for yours, and you see your partner in this unfoldment. His love encompasses you, warms you, and guides you. Unspoken words pass between you as he leads you further into the light and sound of God. Truth permeates your very being, reaching into the very core of you. You are familiar with its touch, and it naturally resonates within. Your inner guide chaperones you throughout the universes and safely back again, waltzing to a beat that only you and he can hear, one that is orchestrated just for you. Pirouetting gently into your physical temple, awakening to a life that waits to serve you as you wait to serve it. The dance of soul has only just begun.
Thank you very much.
Well, Tammy, you're just so multi-talented, and I really appreciate you sharing and inspiring others about, creative conquering, how using the arts, writing, poetry, journaling. Journaling is very important. All of that to overcome struggles and challenges in life. And look at you, look what you're doing. And so, what's next for you? What are you working on right now? And what can we look forward to?
I never seem to know. It just comes. I'm not the kind of planning person.
Mhm.
I think it just intuitively something feels right to me and I go in that direction. Or if I get a nudge to go this way or that way, it just kind of happens naturally, you know.
And how can people reach you if they want to find out more about your art? What's the best way to reach you? Um,
I would say social media is the easiest. I have that See More Divinely photography, Tammy Attama, and all my photos are up there, and it gives all my information. So, yeah.
okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me here and for sharing your life and your journey. I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy being with you today.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for doing this, Jean. It's been a wonderful experience.
My pleasure, and I know that we'll be seeing more of each other. I really enjoy all that you do. It just and even the little pop-up announcements on Facebook, you're sharing another beautiful artwork or photograph. It always touches my heart. So thank you for all you're doing to lift up the world with the creative arts. And we need more of that. We don't need to be looking negatively. We need more of that creative imagination and what you do to stir that in us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.